Another 49er video coming your way. Thought I'd hit a quick one about Brandon Ayuk, some mini camp updates, and then I wanted to talk Aaron Rodgers for a couple seconds, maybe a couple minutes. At the end of the video, what's up everybody? Welcome in Seth Floyd Show. I'm your host, Seth Floyd Hansen. Bringing you another video right after work. That's why I'm wearing what I'm wearing, getting them taxes and bookkeeping done. When I hit record on this video, we had 392 subscribers. Thank you so much, guys. Please keep hitting that subscribe button. Keep sharing the channel with your friends, trying to get to 500 by week 1 of the NFL season in September. So we're still kind of the calm before the storm. We have mandatory minicamp next week. You know, nothing really matters that much until we hit training camp, but trying to keep things interesting until then. And you know who kept things a little interesting last week was the one, the only, the Brandon Ayuk. Unintentionally, in my opinion, stirring up the, the masses with an Instagram post he had. He posted the famous TO workout where he's doing crunches in the driveway and he's getting interviewed. And he did that amid his contract holdout or whatever. He got told to go home from Eagles practice and just caused drama. And a lot of people took that by Brandon Ayuk posting that. They took that to mean like he's still unhappy with the organization or something. He's unhappy with something. I don't know. This contract, I can't imagine that's the issue. Dude got paid. And so, but 49ers social media and content creators were just like in a tizzy about it, man. And here are my thoughts about Brandon Ayuk. I've seen some wild takes about him since that happened. He's kind of even cleared the air a little bit and said, you guys are crazy, reading into too much, whatever. He said, if you're over 30, post on Instagram, just post on about your kids and move on, which I thought was kind of funny, actually. But here's what I think, okay? I'm gonna straddle the fence. I'm gonna be on both sides of the line here a little bit, okay? Because first off, when I initially saw the post, I thought, oh, like, that's weird, but there's no way he's talking about the 49ers, of him being unhappy. It just didn't make any sense. Dude got paid. I also think he felt awful last year, just like, not awful from the contract holdout, but he played really bad those first few games. He had like 1, maybe 2 okay games out of the 8 he played, I think, and then he hurt his knee in the Chiefs game. And I think he genuinely felt that heat. Like he knew he did not live up to what he had signed. He knew he had started slow. And then to get hurt like that, like I genuinely think it bothers him that that's how it went down. And not in like a defiant way. Like I just felt like he felt bad about it. I don't know why I feel that way. I just think maybe some of the things he said last year, I don't know. I don't have, but in my head, like that's what I remember about Ayuk is, man, he didn't play well. And I think on his face it showed, essentially is what I'm saying. People might disagree with that. I don't know. That was just my take. So it did make sense that he would be all defiant and mad at the Niners. And then he kind of tried to clear up the air after that. But here's my thing, like, Brandon Ayuk, all you did last year was send out cryptic messages on Instagram and wherever else when you were unhappy. All you did was stir the pot. And I understand that's a negotiating tactic. But because that's what 49er fans are used to, you then cannot be upset when you post something controversial and people are getting riled up over it. That makes sense. Now, maybe he just was so obtuse. That might be too harsh of a word. Maybe he just was so oblivious to what posting that picture of Terrell Owens would have done and the message it would have sent. I don't know what other message he was trying to send though. That's the one thing is, I don't know. Just weird. It's weird. But even if it was super innocent and you were just trying to say you're ready for the smoke, you're ready for a bounce back year, like I don't know what you could possibly be trying to say with that message. Like you have to understand the perception that you created last year. I don't know what perception is. The image you created last year when you were posting all this weird stuff. It is expected that if you're going to do that kind of stuff again, that people are going to react a certain way. You cannot get upset with people when they react a certain way, okay? I think this whole thing is a bunch of nothing, but I just was going to weigh in like it's a nothing burger on both sides, but Brandon Ayuk, like you got to understand what's going to happen if you do that. Like people are going to react in the day and age we live, especially when last year you wanted everyone to react a certain way. And now you can't just post stuff like that and be like, you guys are crazy. Why would you think that I would be trying to be controversial? It's like, well, because that's all you did last year. Now, I feel like I'm a pretty reasonable, rational, realistic person. I'm not a an emotional reaction, knee-jerk reaction kind of guy for the most part. And so when I saw it, at first I was like, oh, that's weird. I wonder what's going on. And then I thought about it more. I was like, there's no way he's talking about the Niners. It's probably just something else. But most fans aren't that way. You guys know most fans are not going to react in a level-headed, logical way. Like we're knee-jerk reaction after knee-jerk reaction in 2025. And so whatever. Now I've seen some crazy takes like 49er fans like want him off the team, stirring the pot, causing more drama this offseason, get him out of here, not that good, da-da-da. And I think that's crazy. Talk about knee-jerk reaction. Like Brandon Ayuk is still very good. We don't know what he's going to be after this season. I'm not trying to get him off the team. I'm not making assumptions that he's going to be a locker room cancer, that he's a me guy, that he's not a hard worker, because none of those things are true. Nothing shows that other than you're mad he posted a few weird things. Everything shows when we had the last full season body of work, 2023, he was a great teammate, blocks his behind off for the running backs. Okay, he was an all-in guy for the team. Okay, I know last year wasn't great. The vibes were weird. Contract disputes. It's not the first time a contract dispute has gotten weird. But I'm banking on 2023 is the real Brandon Ayuk. Okay, so if you want him off the team, if you think he's like a team cancer, if all of those things, no one within the organization agrees with you. I would tell you that right now. None of those. His teammates, I'm pretty sure, love him. Leonard Hankerson came out. The wide receivers coach said, Brandon Ayuk has been with me like as a coach, can't be on the field. He's been with me in the meetings, and he's acting as like a quasi-coach for these guys right now. That is like being a good teammate. That means way more than some weird post he made. But again, I know the knee-jerk reaction is, oh my gosh, he's doing it again. But think logically, like he's not, and he followed it up with a later post. So anyway, those are my thoughts on it. He probably should be smarter in some of the stuff he posts, but also he can do whatever he wants, and it doesn't have to be a big deal. It doesn't have to be a big deal is what I'm trying to say. That's probably the best way to say all this. It doesn't have to be a big deal. 49er fans, we can just chill out. Let's get to training camp before we start making big deals. Okay, let's see him get on the field and from there. But I promise you he's not a bad guy. Okay. One like mini camp update. I watched a video today. Kevin Kruger from the Krug Show. Kruger is his last name, right? It's not just Krug. Anyway, the Krug Show. Okay, I think a lot of 49er fans have mixed opinions on him. I like Kevin. I think he, for the most part, is pretty good. I don't agree with everything he says. I think he has some weird takes sometimes, but I think overall he does a good job covering the team, and he asks a lot of questions and whatever. He had one note that I think is pretty positive, and maybe he's being overdramatic. Could be. Who knows? Maybe he's embellishing. But he talked about how good Nick Martin looked. That he just looks the part. He flashes around. He stands out in that linebacker group. He's done the report on how he's just tied to the hip with Fred Warner, asking him every question. Fred talked about that in an interview, how Nick Martin can't get enough, just wants to know everything Fred does and wants to mimic it, which is a smart play. Like, how about I just try to be exactly like Fred Warner? The rumor is Nick Martin's favorite player was Fred Warner, even before he got drafted by the Niners. He's been looking up to him for a long time. So again, that's a green flag. You want that. You want a guy who you have to tell to chill out as far as like being in the vet's ears more than like, hey, can you start to care a little more? So that's good. So hopefully it's true. Now, minicamp, like you can't, there's nothing to take away from it. Like you can't be like, oh, this guy for sure a starter, for sure going to be a baller. But you can like get a feel like, does this guy belong or not? I was talking about it with my good trusty coworker, Scott Matthew Smart Jr. today, and we were talking about it. He's a Cowboys fan. We were talking about like, what stock do you put into minicamp? And I just told him, look, like, I think in minicamp with the rookies, like you can, maybe we can't because we don't get to see, but like the coaches and maybe the media a little bit can get a sense like, does this guy look like he belongs on an NFL field or does he look like he is lost? And if the majority of your rookies look like they belong, then that's a good sign. That's positive. That in minicamp they look like one of the dudes. They don't look like it's too much for them, too big to handle. Now the truth is, no one's really going to post any overly negative stuff in minicamp. Just nobody does that. But there are clues. Like if they are talking about, we were talking about this today. If the reports on a rookie are like, you know, he's still a rookie, big learning curve coming his way, but his athleticism's off the charts, his ceiling is so high, and they're going that route, and they're like, yeah, he definitely looks like a rookie, Like sometimes that can be a red flag because they're just trying to put a positive spin on this guy doesn't look like he belongs. This guy looks lost out there. Those kinds of things. But if they get like all the reports we've heard of like Michael Williams and Jordan Watkins and Nick Martin, like talks about how they're standing out, like that's good. That doesn't mean anything other than they look like they belong, and the chances of them not being a bust are higher than if they were out there just like, look, they look like they're getting lost. But anyway, I think Nick Martin could end up being the best pick. I've been saying CJ West was my favorite pick, and he still could be. Nick Martin, though, man, if he comes in and fills a role right away, that would be impressive. Super early. Don't know if he'll start, but if the coaches agree with what some of the media is saying about him, like, fantastic. That's good. That's what you need. A dude who flies around, who'll hit you in the mouth, guy who can play opposite of Fred Warner. And this is the best. This is why Nick Martin has so much chance to succeed. If he really does get to start, he is going to have a chance to succeed because he does not have to be the main guy. We're going to find out how good Dre Greenlaw actually is. I don't think we ever really knew because he played next to Fred Warner. And maybe he's as good without Fred as he was with Fred. That is a total possibility. All I'm saying is we don't know. But that is the best thing that Nick Martin has going for him is he's got the best middle linebacker in the league playing right next to him. And guess what? They're not keying on Nick Martin. Nick Martin is not seeing design double teams for him. He's seeing all of that towards Fred Warner. Okay. Now they might try to pick on him in the pass game. That's where it's going to hurt him. But they are not going to be in the run game. Like they're asking themselves, where's 54? Not where's 45. That's what Nick Martin's wearing. So good. It's good news. Keep an eye on it. Again, in training camp, it's all about the rookies. It's all about health, and it's all about the rookies. Okay, and your quarterback. Want him to play well. Last note. Then I'll get you out of here. Thank you for being here. Hit subscribe real quick. If you're here and you haven't hit it yet, just hit it, man. It's free. It helps me out a ton. Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers. Now, Rodgers is one of the most polarizing figures in the NFL. He is very individualistic. He did not give a rip what anyone thinks, for better or for worse. And I just wanted to say this. I am glad Aaron Rodgers is playing again in the NFL. Do I think he's going to be great? No. Do I think he's going to be probably better and more efficient than he was last year? Yes, he's going to a better organization. To Mike Tomlin, okay? Don't hear what I'm not saying. I didn't say they're going to win the division. I didn't say they're going to the Super Bowl. I just said I think he's going to play better as a quarterback. I think that last year against when he was with the Jets, it was like, oh man, he really doesn't look that good. And then I think this year you're going to look at it and be like, oh, okay, like pretty good. I think it's good for football that he's there. Okay, I think that the NFL is better. The NFL succeeds when the quarterback, it always succeeds, but it's driven by like quarterbacks and not just like superstar quarterbacks, but personalities at quarterback. And now you're pairing Rodgers with a historic franchise like the Steelers. It is just must-see TV is what I'm trying to say. On top of being a diehard 49er fan, I am an absolute NFL nerd. I'm an NFL diehard and an NFL nerd. I love the NFL. I love how it operates. We can get into the argument about what's better, NFL or college. I love having that debate because it's fun, because I love college football too, but I'm a nerd for the NFL, and I'm a firm believer that the NFL is much better when the Steelers have a quarterback that you want to watch. Whether you're hate watching him or not, like a quarterback that is relevant. Because the Steelers having Mason Rudolph as their quarterback, maybe it would have been fun to watch Will Howard if he'd gotten a chance to start with Rudolph. If Rodgers wasn't going to be there, they'd have Mason Rudolph. Is it Rudolph or Randolph? I can't remember. Rudolph, right? They'd have had him for 5 games. They would have gone 2-3 or 1-4, and then they would have put Will Howard in there. But Rodgers in prime time, Steelers in that black and yellow, like sign me up, man. Sign me up. And I don't think the Steelers are gonna be bad. You know why they're not gonna be bad? Because Mike Tomlin, they have a good defense. They win at least 8-9 games a year. Now, if you can just have an average offense, if they're in the 10 to 15 range as far as rankings go, like the Steelers are probably going to be in the mix to win 10 games and make a wild card spot. I don't think they're going to win the division. I'd love it if they win the division. By the way, I would be all for it. Okay, I'd love to see another team besides the Ravens win that division this coming year, but I think it's good for the NFL. I'm nerding out hard on it because I think it's fun. I now, when the Steelers are playing in prime time in Week 8 against the Packers, instead of being like, okay, Mason Rudolph, whatever, but now it's like, oh my gosh, Aaron Rodgers against the Packers, freaking sign me up. I'm watching every game that I can no matter what, but you get the point. The attitude is just, it's way more hype. And then if they make the playoffs Aaron Rodgers, playoff game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's awesome. Whether you want him to win or lose, like it just is captivating and you want to watch it. Okay. I've always guys, don't hate me. Okay. I've always really liked Aaron Rodgers. I've liked him. I liked how he played. He was like my favorite quarterback for the longest time. I know in these last handful of years he's gotten pretty weird. But I will say this, like I definitely don't agree with everything Rodgers says on his opinions outside of football. Like I don't agree with all of that. I'm not trying to get political at all. What I'm saying is I respect Aaron Rodgers for being who he is and not caring what anyone thinks. For better or for worse, there's something admirable about somebody who just doesn't bend the knee to the masses. Again, for better or for worse, I respect that about him, and he doesn't care. And that makes him intriguing. That makes him fun to watch to me. Even if you hate him, it makes it fun to watch. Like it's an appointment now to watch him, and I find it interesting. I find it very interesting. So no, I think the Steelers might win 1 or 2 more games because he's there. I think they're like a 10-win team now instead of like a 7 or an 8-win team. Again, look at the track record. Tomlin, that defense is still really good. But yeah, I think it'll be fun to watch. I think it's good for football. That's what I got for you. Okay. Chill out about Brandon Ayuk, even though he probably should have more self-awareness. Okay, Nick Martin looks good. So far, like I haven't seen any like head-scratching reports about rookies. That's good. We can't really tell until training camp anyways, which we're about 6 weeks for training camp? Man, it's getting close. And then Aaron Rodgers in the NFL is a good thing. It's good for intriguing quarterbacks to play on historic teams. Makes it more fun. Anyway, that's all I got. If you're still here, thank you so much. Hit subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with your enemies, and I'm out. Go Niners.